Yeah, they are winless then in the Europa League after 3 successive draws. FC20, Porto and now Fenerbahçe as well, although the latter two of those games, of course, were away. So you might look at positives and think that's 2 decent points that they've picked up on their travels. It leaves them 21st in the league table, despite taking the lead in every single one of their games so far. Manchester United fans have flooded the sports bar with calls last night after seeing their team throw yet another lead and away, I should say. And Cameron told the boys that he's ready for a change in the dugout.
Ten Hag needs to go now. I've changed my mind in the last 3 or 4 weeks. And
changed your mind?
Yeah, I was all for giving him some time with the new signings.
You beat Brentford at the weekend, and you've got a draw tonight away at Fenerbahçe. I mean, not a sackable offence, is it?
No, I'm not saying to be sacked now, but there's just no clear sort of direction going forward. Is there?
He played 3 games he ain't got beat yet.
No, but it's 3 draws. I mean, we are what did he say? 21st in Europa League.
Yeah, it's early days though.
It's even worse than Spurs.
I mean, OK, look, it's not ideal being 21st in the table, but they are unbeaten. Of course, they've got to get wins. That's the most important. They've got to start turning those draws into 3 points. But is that a slight overreaction?
I think it's an overreaction, maybe a frustration of... He's obviously not talking about the last few weeks. He's probably frustrated over the last 3 years.
Yeah.
And the problem Manchester United are going to have, the hierarchy, is that Manchester United will get results. I called it last night, wouldn't surprise me if they won, and they got a draw, could have won the game with the chances they had. They've got a very good squad of players that should be doing a lot better. And even if Ten Hag isn't the right man, he'll still get results. On the weekend, wouldn't surprise me to go and beat West Ham away. So the problem they're going to have is every time you feel like he's about to go, he'll get a result. And he'll start getting results, and it continues. And at the end of the season, it's another poor season where you're not finishing in the top 4 or 5. So it's a problem for the Manchester United owners.
Well, let's get more of a flavour then of Manchester United fans. talkSPORT's very own Angelina Kelly joins us this morning. How are you doing, Angelina?
Good morning, Angelina.
I'm all good, thank you. Morning, how are you guys?
Very, very well, thank you. So you are in Istanbul for us this morning once more. You're showing off that lovely marina view. We are in pitch black here in London. But anyhow, we'll move on quickly from that. We heard there from Cameron, he's had enough. He wants Ten Hag out. We were just debating there whether or not it's a slight overreaction. Where do you stand on it all right now, Angelina?
You know what? I kind of get that feeling of it being an overreaction. Listen, at the end of the day, Manchester United, this is not good enough. The fans know it. Everybody knows it. This is not the Manchester United that we saw, 10, 15 years ago. But I do think when you look at these fixtures, to have got a point at Fenerbahçe, I don't think it's the worst case scenario. Of course, they could have won the game and it was frustrating. And I must say, take about Andre Onana, because those saves, watching them in the stadium, they were incredible. But you look at the other Europa League fixtures now, 2 fixtures at home against easier sides, you would probably say. Man United could maybe get something out of this. They're not in that, drop-off zone yet. But at the same time, they're in the bottom 4 of that part where they're going to have to play in playoffs. So I understand people's frustrations, but I don't think a point is the end of the world.
How frustrating is it, Angelina, that I said to Natalie earlier, Højlund getting his edge back in front of goal, scored a great goal against Brentford. He's on the bench. Xerxes didn't really show much last night. And also Ahmad, he was very angry at getting told to come on for 1 minute before stoppage time, and Anthony got on before him. What about this team selection? I'm not sure.
I completely agree with you. The whole Amad Diallo situation, had he not have come on last night, even if it was for a couple of minutes, we wouldn't have seen him since Porto. And you think about the talent that player has, and the fact that Anthony is starting, it's baffling. The only thing I was thinking was, he's been linked to maybe a return to Ajax. Is Ten Hag trying to play him so we can get rid of him in January? Yeah. I don't know, but it was so frustrating. Xerxes was not good at all. I thought that he would maybe play more in that number 10 position. So, but, it seems like he's almost lacking in confidence when he's playing that ball through. We saw Garnacho get really, really frustrated with him. And again, Højlund, I would have liked to have seen him start. And then a couple of the shots that he was having, they were quite weak. So you wonder about the confidence, and you can tell that some of these players are as frustrated as the fans are that they're not starting.
And what about this sort of experiment of playing, you mentioned the number 10 role, Mazraoui playing as that number 10? I mean, it clearly didn't seem to work.
That was when we saw the team sheets. We were shocked when we saw the game start, because we were still thinking, is he really going to play in this position? I don't think he was absolutely horrendous. I was expecting it to be a lot worse, to be completely honest, but of course it didn't work. And you do question how much faith he has in Joshua Zirkzee, because we've been told that that's more a position that he likes to play in. Even Christian Eriksen prefers to play in a position like that. I know obviously he got the goal, but you do question why you would have him do that, because I know he played in that position a couple of times for Ajax, but it wasn't his normal position. So it just seems like Ten Hag's making these decisions and nobody seems to understand what is going through his mind.
I think as well, when you look at, sorry, I was looking at the Spurs goal then. When you look at Manchester United going forward though, and West Ham, such a big game in the weekend, they're dying for a result, Lopetegui. How important is it for Manchester United to get 3 points on the weekend? Because you don't want that gap, do you, with the top 4 running away, top 5?
This is it, and it's like what you said before, Gabby. It seems like Man United pull, a rabbit out of the hat, so to say. It seems like Ten Hag manages to get these results that keep him afloat, but Manchester United fans just want to see a run of good form, of consistency, of seeing that there is a style of play, that there is something that Ten Hag is working on. The West Ham game is massive. It seems like every single game is massive at this point because of the inconsistencies. But like you say, West Ham will be up for it. I would like to think that Man United have enough, because like you say, when you look at that squad, I know that they've got a lot of injuries, but there is quality there. Marcus Rashford is a quality player as much as he's been struggling. Alejandro Garnacho is a talented player. I think that Matthijs de Ligt overall has been quite good in defence. Andre Onana, like I said, you could actually argue that Andre Onana has been the best signing of this Ten Hag era when you think about the way that some of these players have been playing and the way that he speaks. We saw him in the mix zone afterwards and he spoke, and he seems to really care. I'd say if I was looking at any players that seem to really care about what is happening, I would say Alejandro Garnacho and Andre Onana, definitely. But like you say, it's a big game with West Ham, and I think fans are just sick of this merry-go-round of getting a result, getting 3 points, getting 1 point maybe, or the performance isn't there. There's always something lacking when it comes to Man United.
talkSPORT Breakfast, waking you up Monday to Friday morning from 6 a.m. on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.